In this video, I show you 3 ways to play a fingerstyle blues on guitar. Each of these approaches will be in the context of blues rhythm guitar playing. In blues, the rhythm side of things is often neglected in favour of soloing. This results in boring, plain and unimaginative rhythm guitar parts. Hi, this is Simon Candy from AcousticGuitarLessonsOnline.net, and many players can solo at a high level, yet when it comes to rhythm, the difference can be night and day. There is nothing worse than improvising or soloing over boring rhythm guitar playing. And it's not much fun either when you are playing the rhythm parts in such a way yourself. It's just boring all around. Today, I'm going to show you 3 ways to spice up your blues rhythm guitar playing in a fingerstyle context. Watch until the end of the video for a special free resource I have for you on creating your own blues fingerstyle arrangements on guitar. Okay, so this first approach for our blues rhythm guitar playing in a fingerstyle context is going to be an E blues. In fact, all our examples today I'm going to put in the key of E, and it's going to be based off very simple basic chords. We're going to be playing an E7 open chord, we're going to be playing an A7 open chord, and we're going to be playing a B7 open chord. Okay, and the idea with this one, it's got a bit of a shuffle feel throughout. A shuffle is basically a swinging 8th note feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's the basic feel throughout our blues here with this approach. And what's mainly the feature of this is in the higher part of the chord, where we are going to be playing little counter melodies, if you like, to whatever might be happening at the time, because this is a rhythm part. So this is in the context of someone maybe soloing over the top, or it could be someone singing over the top. Okay, but we can still play little melodic, add little melodic parts to our chords, even though other things are going on over the top. So in this case, we're going to be going on the E chord, that type of thing, right? What I've got there is a little bit of a melody that's going, and that's happening in the context of the chord. Now on the A, we get a very similar thing happening where we get this. There's a melody there going, and it's bringing in a higher 7th note in there. We've already got the 7th in the A7th chord here, that's the open G. So we've already got the flat 7 in the chord here, the open 3rd string, but we can also add another 7th, the G, in the higher register on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and we create a little melody from that. And you want to be able to know what the melody is so you can sort of emphasize it within the chords. You don't want to lose the melody within the overall sound of the chord. So the A, and then we're returning to E. Same sort of thing on the E chord. And then we've got the B7. We're only on the B7 for a bar, we still get a little bit of a melodic component there. That's basically what's going on there. And then we're going to an A7. This time, I'm adding in the F sharp. I'm going to the G on the top string, the F sharp, the E, and then the C sharp on string 2. So my melody is that's the melody there. So again, we want to be able to sort of know where the melody is within the chord so we can emphasize it within the context of our rhythm part here. And then back to E for much the same sort of approach that we were doing before. So the devil is not in the detail here, okay? It's the concept I want you to pick up on, the approach that we're playing here, not so much the exact detail, because each time I do it, I'm probably going to do something slightly differently, possibly, I really don't know. But it's just simple little melodies that you see come into blues rhythm parts all the time, and they really help complement, support, and really add to whatever it is that's happening over the top at the time. Because if we're playing a rhythm part, we're assuming that there's a vocal happening or someone soloing over the top. And as a rhythm guitarist, or when you play that role, your job is to kind of provide some ideas for the person soloing. Let's say you're improvising or someone's improvising. Provide some ideas, give them something to play over the top of. And there's lots of ways you can approach rhythm playing in any style. In this case, we're talking about blues, of course. Okay, so this second approach for our blues rhythm guitar playing, in a fingerstyle context, is Travis picking. Travis picking is a great way to fingerpick your guitar. If you don't know a lot about Travis picking, it's quite new to you, click the link that's appearing in the top right corner of the video right now, and there's another video on my channel that takes you in detail through Travis picking. It's a very, very common finger picking approach that you find in literally thousands and thousands of songs, so it's well worth learning. You can learn a bit about it here right now, but I'm not going to go into as much detail with it as I do on the video where I've totally dedicated a lesson on it. Okay, so check it out there and you'll find out more about it. But basically, Travis picking is where we have the thumb playing steady bass note patterns on the lower strings while our fingers play syncopated lines on top, essentially. Okay, so we get several parts going together. And the thing with Travis picking is there's lots of variations to the patterns of Travis picking, but what's not varied at all, what's common throughout, is the thumb playing the bass on the beat all the time. Okay, and depending on the chord you're on as to what pattern you play. So for our blues in E here, we're going to play an E open chord, and our bass pattern is going to be what we call a 6/4 6/4. That's because we're going to play the 6th string, then the 4th string, and then the 6th and the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we can play notes on the higher part of the chord with and around the bass, something like this. Okay, so the whole time you got that steady bass, that's staying the same, that can't change. We need that to be steady. That's your reference point, that's the backbone of the sound, and then we can do things in and around that. So on the A7 chord, we play a 5/4, 5/4 bass pattern because it's a root 5 chord and it's on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, playing notes on the higher parts of the chord in and around the bass. Something like that. Okay, so you get really nice momentum and groove to your playing with this particular approach because you've got that bass constantly on the beat, that 4 to the floor sort of sound. On the B7, it's a root 5 chord too, so it's another 5/4 pattern here. And again, notes coming in and around that bass part on the high parts of the chord. Basically do whatever you like on the top part of the chord as long as your bass is consistent, okay, with the thumb playing the bass pattern and always being on the beat. We're going to add something to this in a moment to add a little bit of interest, but let me just play through the blues playing or applying the Travis picking pattern, because that in and of itself, without doing anything else, creates a great rhythm part. Okay, so have a listen. Okay, so I was just making up what I was doing in and between, around the bass there, but what didn't change is that bass playing the bass patterns on the beat. Okay, so that sounds great, but like we did with the first approach, the shuffle approach just before, we can add little melody components here to sort of complement what we're doing with the Travis picking and also whatever else might be happening within the context here. Maybe there's someone singing, maybe there's someone soloing. So something like this. Okay, so I've got a melody there that goes. Okay, notice I can pull out the melody. You've got to be able to hear and identify and isolate the different components that's going on with the Travis pick. You've got the bass, you've got the harmony, and you've got, in a lot of cases, some melody or some sort of melodic component. Okay, so we've got the bass part, we've got the harmony part, and we've got the melody, and we want the melody to stand out, you know, amongst all of that. Okay, now when we get to A7, it's actually pretty much the same melody, but played over the A7 and into then, or when we return to the E7, like this. Okay, it's basically the same melody we just heard, but instead of being played over 4 bars of E, it was played over 2 of A and 2 of E. And then we have our B7 that goes like this. And all I'm doing, because we don't have much time on the B7 here, we've just got the 1 bar, is just taking off the pinky on the last half beat of the bar to bring in that open E string, which will lead nicely into the A7, which does that in the, what's that, the 10th bar of the blues. So the B7, A, and then E, which is returning to the same melody from earlier in the piece. So let me play that all together for you. What I'll do is I'll mute the bass, because a lot of the time with Travis picking you do palm mute the bass. Sometimes you don't, it depends on the context. If you're playing real Travis picking where it's the style, not just the pattern that you sometimes hear, or you hear a lot in songs, often it'll be muted so these melody parts stand out. Sometimes it can be left open. So I'll mute it, okay, and let me play through this so you can hear it all together. Okay, so that's our basic Travis picking approach to our blues to create a really cool rhythm part that's got momentum and groove to it. And it's another great way to approach a blues, you know, rhythm part in the style of fingerpicking. Okay, so this third approach uses what I like to call block chords. Block chords are the ones I'm going to show you here, are going to fall on a 4-3-2-1 string set. Top 4 strings of your guitar. Now, I'm not going to go into absolute detail with block chords here because it's a bit beyond the scope of this video, but if you click the link that you see right now in the top right corner of the video, you'll see there is a lesson on my channel, on the YouTube channel, that is dedicated to block chords, and it will take you into great detail with this type of chord. And they are fantastic chords used in lots of different ways for rhythm guitar parts, giving you lots and lots of ideas and variety and so forth. But in this context, we're looking at them in a blues fingerstyle rhythm part. So basically with a block chord, I've got this one here. That's an E7 block chord, but it's not the only block chord I can play. I can go up and play a different inversion of that chord. In fact, 4 different, well, 3 plus the original. 4 versions, if you like, of the E7 block chord there. Giving you lots of possibilities when it comes to your rhythm part, okay? And the A, we've got equally A block chords, 4 of them. The same shapes, just in different positions for A. And you also have B block chords. Okay, now what we're going to do here is take this first block chord, which is actually a root position E7 block chord, and we're going to combine it with some Travis picking. Okay, so because we're in the key of E, and a lot of the time we're on an E or an A chord, and of course the root notes are E and A of those respective chords, we've got E and A open strings here. So we can play open strings, or we can play the root notes of these chords without needing to fret them. So it just makes other things more possible when you don't need a finger there playing in the lower part of the chord. Okay, so on the E7 we're going to do this. Okay, it's a Travis picking pattern, a 6/4, and then we're just playing notes of the chord with and around the bass there. Okay, but on the second 2 bars of the 4 bars of E that opens up our 12-bar blues here, we're going to move up to the next E7 block chord and continue. Okay, So what's interesting here is we can get movement across a static chord. So the static chord is E, it stays on E for 4 bars, but instead of sitting there on one chord, we can move. So we can go from this E up to this one. Okay, sounds very cool, we get movement there. Then when we go to A, we're going to play the A block chord that's in the same position that we're currently in. And I'm going to take advantage of the open A string for the root note to continue a 5/4 in this case pattern for our Travis picking, and a little bit of melody on the top string. Okay, which adds a nice melodic component to it, similar to previous approaches that we've looked at in this video today. And when we return to E, we do the same thing that we did last time when we were on this E7 chord. It's the same thing. Now B7, we don't have a low B string to sort of drone, so we're just going to play a B7 open chord for B7. Not an open chord, we're going to play a B7 bar chord, of which we're only on it for 1 bar anyway. And then we're going to our A, and we're going to bring in this little melody on top here again with the B note. Okay, so it goes B7 to the A, and then back to the E7, and each time we return to that E7, with the exception of the very first 2 bars on E7, we're doing exactly the same thing on the same block chord shape. Okay. All right, so let me put that together for you so you can hear how that sounds. With Travis picking again, muting the bass is often done, so I might mute the bass a little bit here, but you could leave it nice and open as well. It's totally up to you, and it might depend on the context, of course. But here's how this sounds all together. If you like this video on how to play a fingerstyle blues on guitar, then you will love this free ebook audio, How to Build Your Very Own Acoustic Guitar Fingerpicking Blues Song. In this ebook, I break the 12-bar blues down into 4 key areas, making it easier for you to understand the structure of a blues. I then show you how to approach each one of these areas of the blues with a variety of fingerpicking riffs and licks from which to create your arrangements. The best thing is, I'm going to give you an inch and then show you how to take a mile by demonstrating how you can create variation upon variation of a fingerpicking blues using the riffs you learn in this ebook. So click the link in the description below this video and download your free ebook audio, How to Build Your Very Own Acoustic Guitar Fingerpicking Blues Song. Let me know in the comments section what guitar topics you would like to see covered in future videos. I read every comment and I would love to hear your suggestions. If you like this video, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell button so YouTube can tell you when I release a new video. This is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate your time and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video.